Well, good morning, Mission Control. Looks like I might be having a little bit of a connection problem here. I'm not seeing it come through very well. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks like we got a spotty connection today, so I'm going to go ahead and get going. Doesn't look like there'll probably be too many people joining us. I enjoy doing these Saturday live streams for everybody. It's nice talking to you all, uh, and I'm hoping that we can get some good conversation today. Uh, Let's see here. Sorry, I'm typing and working all at the same time. I'm not, it keeps saying this video is private. I don't know what that's all about. Uh, Let me see. Maybe if I refresh. This is always a challenge, technical stuff here. I was on cellular network and I switched over midstream to, uh, why is it not available right now? Oh boy, look at this. We're getting verification. It's asking me to verify who I am now. This is exciting. So this is fun. This is new. We've never had this happen before. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have major problems here now. Oh boy. Oh boy, what's going on? We found invalid phone number. We got all sorts of bad stuff happening here. What is going on? Oh boy. What is happening? Why in the world is this happening to me? We've been doing so good on the streams. Okay, it says excellent commission. Oh boy. All right. Okay, happy Saturday, everybody. Looks like I'm back. Oh my goodness gracious, what a crazy thing is going on here. It keeps saying that I'm private, but I don't know. Then I had to verify my account midstream. Who knows what's going on? I think YouTube is watching us. So let's try this. Let's try this again. You all got to have some entertainment there. Welcome to the Real Martian Saturday live stream. My name is Jeff Raymond. I'll be your host today. I am the Real Martian. And as you can see, we had some technical problems, but we're back up and running. Today, I want to make sure everyone knows, welcome to the community. Please let us all know where you're coming from, even if you've done that before. I think it's great for everyone who's maybe not been on the Saturday stream here to see where everybody's from. It's neat seeing people from Norway, from Vietnam, every place in between and sideways. It's great knowing where everyone's at. So be sure to let us know where you're coming in from. Super chats are on. Always appreciate that. There's not enough viewers on here really to where you have to do a super chat, but if you do feel like doing one, it just helps Mrs. Martian and I pay the bills really. Let's see here. Also, be sure to give a thumbs up to the video if you enjoy just being here. That helps bump it up in popularity and the algorithm. And boy, oh boy, am I learning about the algorithm. Today, I want to go over kind of general updates. I don't have a briefing today. There's a few questions that I've seen come across in the comments more often than not, and so I wanted to just address those today. Remember, these live streams are for you guys, so I'll do a little dialogue, and then I have to turn over here to this monitor where I have the comments up, and I will catch up on the comments. What I want to go over today, the questions that I keep seeing, we've talked about it before, but hey, there's new people to the channel. We want to make sure we bring everybody along. In my notes here, people, I want to describe Hab1 to Hab2 and what is the status of Hab2. People ask that a lot. And also the status of the trailer, LifePod 2, which is the mobile version. I also want to go over Grow Towers, Grow Walls, and the app that we're working on. So let's start off by checking comments here. Let's see, we've got hellos, lots of hellos. Everybody got to have an interesting watch there while I mess around with the algorithm or with the YouTube stuff. So welcome. Thanks for the feedback. Oh my goodness, thank you for the super chat, Perrin. I really appreciate the £5. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I keep trying to do better on them. Uh, Washington State, Iowa, Washington D.C., Canton, Connecticut. Hey, I was in D.C. You guys know that? I was. You see the stuff behind me up on the wall there. That that one right there. When I was in the Air Force, I was stationed at the National Reconnaissance Office, actually, which is in Chantilly, Virginia. I was also stationed at the Pentagon, uh, which is in proper DC, and I lived in Springfield. Really great place. I enjoyed it. It was neat being back there, and I'll honestly, there's way too many people, and the traffic is bad. And that humidity, oh my goodness, you guys back on the East Coast and down south or anywhere that has humidity, oy, 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 oy. I get 40% humidity here and I start complaining. But I'm glad you're online with us, and thank you for dropping in. Quebec, Canada. Good day to you guys up there. Uh, Santa Fe, New Mexico. I am from the Pleiadian system. Well, welcome, cousin. Sorry that everyone's so scared down there right now. I think fear has definitely gripped a lot of people. So thanks everyone for coming online. Hey, let's get into the topics here, and by all means, make sure you keep dropping your comments. As you know, I'll get back to them and answer them. So if you have questions or video requests or anything like that, please put them in the comments. These times are for you guys. All right, so my notes. Hab 1. I think everyone who has been around knows that Hab 1 collapsed. It's what I call a successful failure, stealing shamelessly from Apollo 13. It was a failure in the fact that it failed and there was things that were wrong with it. It was a success in the fact that it was actually successful. Remember, we made $15,000 of revenue by growing microgreens out of Hab 1, and we grew a whole slew of different plants. I mean, we grew potatoes in aquaponics. That's pretty freaking awesome. We grew corn. We grew a ton of different herbs, watermelon, cantaloupe. We even had a little cantaloupe come out of it. We grew what? We didn't grow tomatoes, basil, herbs, parsley, a bunch of different lettuces, kale, green beans, garlic. We grew garlic. We grew a whole bunch of stuff, and we grew them on multiple decks. So we grew vertically, and we learned a tremendous amount. That's the success. It grew things, and it taught us a tremendous amount. But as you may know, or if you're brand new to the channel, Hab 1 collapsed. Hab 1 is designed to be a self-sufficient system, essentially, with minimal inputs. You need to bring fish food into it. And there was things that it did really well at, and there's things that it failed at. But with a snow of 4 feet in 24 hours, that's 1 inch per hour, it could not handle the weight, and it collapsed sadly. I think it was God's plan, though. I would have never destroyed it. And we did take insurance out on it, so we were able to get insurance, and that allowed us to have some money in the account where we could leave our job and work on this full time. We also did some fundraising with family and friends as I joined up with Eat and Grow Systems, and we did some fundraising there, and that allowed us to start work on the next design iteration, which we call Hab 2. Makes a lot of sense. Start with 1, go to 2. So Hab 2 was completely designed. It took me months, months and months and months to design it and to put it all together. And do the analysis to make sure everything would work, especially the thermal analysis, making sure everything was just tip-top shape. We ran multiple simulations, I think over 100 different simulations, each one taking about a day to run, to evaluate sun position, solar radiation rates, and cold, and how that change, and evaluate material properties, and do a whole bunch of different stuff with it. And I had all the drawings done. In fact, here, you don't know this, but this is the, I'm stuck. This is the supplier package where all the drawings were put together for Hab 2 and sent out for quote. And we got some quotes back, and they're very, very expensive, and the tooling and everything, and lots of feedback that we received from suppliers that I started working on. And in doing that, and in doing some of the heat, what we analysis, what we realize is, we got to go work with the regulators, so that we can build this thing legally because we're trying to sell it. And when we did that, it came up with multiple months worth of delay as we go through an essential bureaucratic process I call it essential because safety is essential, and that the particular processes that you go through are meant to make sure that whatever you're doing isn't going to kill or hurt somebody, right? Some of them are a little unnecessary and a little evasive, but I don't disagree with the general concept that we want people to put good things out there. And so, what we decided to do is pause on Hab2 and move over to our mobile version, which is the exact same system. We call the system the Genesis system. It's what the patent is. It's what was in Hab 1. It's what we learned to do. It's what all the math supports. And we built, I started designing LifePod 2. Because of time and money and time being the same thing, we only have so much time because we only have so much money in the bank as we do this. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary doing this full time on the 16th of this month. Uh, we said, okay, well, I don't have the design fully complete, but we have all the big stuff done so we can get started on it. So we bought the trailer. And you have seen some videos. You can see the playlist. If you go to the channel, you can see the playlist where we actually have those videos there, and we were doing the welding and cutting stuff off the trailer and starting to put stuff on the belly bay and all that. And then COVID hit, and COVID really scared our investors. Money that was supposed to be coming in wasn't able to come in. Parts slowed down, logistics slowed down, and what the board of Eden decided to do instead of finishing the build right now of LifePod 2 was to focus on something that we think we can get to you, the people, to give you food independence because we think that's really important. And that is our grow towers and our grow walls, as well as a software app that we call the Eden ecosystem. It's like a digital farmers market, if you will. So uh, we paused on LifePod 2 now, which I've shared in the videos, and we are focusing on those grow towers and grow walls. Of course, in this whole process, I've had to take up some work with my neighbor, which we've shared before. We're doing mutually beneficial efforts. I help him out, he's helping us out, and I'm waiting for the metal for the grow towers. You saw that video probably where the metal showed up, had some errors. I spoke to the supplier. They're making it all right. They're doing all the right things, but now we're waiting for the next shipment to come before all the metal is here. So I have pivoted over to the grow walls. Now I wanted to actually let me get some. I'm going to come back to this. Let me just catch up on uh, yeah, on the comments here. Awful traffic. Yes, it is. Yeah, it literally collapsed. No, Perrin, it literally collapsed. Uh, yeah, Hab 1. It was very unfortunate. Just built by the backyard growing tomatoes, lettuce. Great job. Some hydro, some in soil. Going to do ox. Yep, awesome. Santa Fe. All right, caught up there. So hey everyone, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I'm not leaving it, just the normal stuff, and we do have super chats on. Again, thank you, Perrin. Really appreciate your super chat. So let's get back to the grow tower. So the metal showed up and had the errors. So they got that all. We got that all resolved, and we're just waiting for the shipment to get here. The grow walls, I have a version 3 design, which I've shared on Patreon. That's one of the benefits of being a Patreon member for the $5 and up club. You guys get to see the inside scoop on the designs. Um, we spoke about that in previous videos, why I've done that instead of just sharing it broadcast on YouTube. There are legal reasons for investment and all that kind of stuff. The world just kind of sucks, when it comes to sharing information and being able to like make money at it. Um, it really sucks. So anyway, be sure to check out Patreon, $5 and up. You can see I've posted the grow towers and the grow walls now up there, so you can see those early design access and be able to do a design review essentially if you're really. I think it's a nice way on Patreon, a small dollar amount that says I'm really serious about this kind of filters out the trolls and the people who maybe, you know, don't really want to give constructive feedback. They just kind of want to bash it. Um, so that's kind of a filtering thing. And if you were in my spot, I think you would appreciate that because there's a lot of people who love to give their opinions, but maybe they're not the most constructive. And if you get a YouTube chat going you've seen it in the comments where people just start yelling at each other and in Facebook. I mean, have you noticed there's quite a few verses in the Bible where God talks about in the end times, people's hearts are going to start being hardened. And you read that. I've got my Bible right here. You know, I read it every day. And you read it and you don't really understand it, but then you see what's happening on social media. And it's like people just forgot their filter and they're just getting hard. So, anyway, all right, sorry, getting off topic there. So, we're waiting for the material coming back for the towers. Uh, I did a post on Facebook yesterday saying they're coming, they're coming. And people are like, the British. No, they're not coming. Uh, the shrimp, the shrimp came, and I'm not going to steal my own thunder. There's going to be a video where you actually see them arrive and the trials and tribulations that we go through getting them here. I haven't gone out and checked on them today, but that's going to be part of that video. So stay tuned for that. But the freshwater prawns are here, and I'm excited about that. Uh, so that's the grow tower work. We're just waiting for that. On the competition, I've had a lot of people say that everybody's doing this. Why are you doing what someone else has done? Well, I think what they mean and what you're probably envisioning is that you've seen a lot of grow tower, like vertical growing systems out there. If you're on Patreon with us, you know that what we're doing is different. You can see the design, the modularity of it. You can see the different crops, the diversity of crops that we can grow, including things like potatoes. And nobody else is doing that. That is unique. I have not seen that. I've seen people do it in their own backyard, but I have not seen anyone do it commercially. So I think what we have at Eden is going to be unique and special. But if I'm wrong, join us on Patreon and please comment so that we can figure out how to address that issue. On the grow walls, I think what we're doing is very unique. I have only found one competitor in my searching. Now I've looked at over 45 different competitors. This would be 46 that I just found recently that's doing something similar to what we're doing on the grow walls. The walls are literally meant to be bolted to a wall and grow up vertically and horizontally. And the new design that I just shared this morning on Patreon, I think I'm really super excited about it. And one of the reasons I'm super excited about it is because Mrs. Martian is really excited about it. And if she's excited, then I know I'm on the right track. In fact, we had some visitors and I showed it to them, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. So check it out on Patreon. Let me check up on some comments here. Well, Perrin, thanks for joining for just a few weeks. Really appreciate it. Cousin me, I thought you were making fun of Santa Fe. So did I. If you have time to get back and watch those videos, it was an emotional roller coaster. Uh, if you go to Patreon, let me help you out here. So here's the link to our Patreon. You can go there. I just put it in the chat. It's also in the video description down below or on our homepage. You can tell people about it. But joining us on Patreon, there's a bunch of different levels. You can go on there. I think it's a nice way to do stuff. And what we're really trying to do is between YouTube, I'm always been open. You know, this might be the very first month that we hit $300 of revenue from YouTube. So you might be thinking that we're like rolling in the cash because we do YouTube, but we're really not. $300 a month before taxes uh, is not enough to cover the bills, but it does pay some of them, and we're diversifying our revenue. Very important in the new economy to diversify. And Patreon is another way to help us diversify. I would love it if we could actually have Patreon kind of be the major thing instead of YouTube, because that could allow me to focus on quality. Oh, hey, speaking of stuff, so Mrs. Marsh and I were also, for the patrons, we're doing these behind the scenes kind of review of our old videos, that emotional roller coaster ride, and we have two of them up on Patreon. That's for all patrons. You can watch those. This week, we're having a hard time getting the time to go and actually record that video. And as we've done these videos, one of the things that Alicia, my wife, Mrs. Martian, she really would like to do more videos on The Real Martian. And, you know, I think everyone has always said they love seeing her on there and they love having us both on there. So we want to do that. But here's the rub, guys. Here's the challenge. You, for those that have been here since I started, you know that The very first videos sucked. In fact, that's the first review we did on Patreon for the patrons. Is we reviewed the very first video, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I posted that." When you first start on YouTube, you have this grand vision that you could just take your phone and go out there and make videos, and people are going to be so uber excited about it. And they were, but uh, people have a tolerance for that lasts just a little while, and then they expect you to start upping your game, which I agree with. That's not a slam. That's I totally agree. And if you're going to be on YouTube and you're going to be making good video content like this, you need to improve your game. And to improve your game, requires equipment. So when we first got started, we did a GoFundMe, and we actually got a computer to edit and the software to edit, and we did some audio upgrades, and we did a camera purchase. Now we got uh, two of those things. The computer was brand new, and software was brand new, obviously, but audio we bought some different versions of, and then video we actually got as a hand-me-down from Wrangler Star, which thank you, Cody. We purchased some of his old gear, which is far above what we had. But fast forward back to what I was talking about. The challenge now is we only have one good rig. To get another good rig is like $1,200. I mean, you might think you can do this stuff with your phone. We use our phones for like moving shots, and like I'm on the tractor and you can't have a big rig, and all this. It's difficult to set up. But to get good shots, you really need to have a nice DSLR with audio setup. Audio is, so important. So I'm thinking of doing a GoFundMe. Just curious what you guys' thoughts are to raise the money to get another rig so that Alicia can be recording stuff while I'm recording stuff. Because I can't stop doing the work that I need to do because some of it we get paid for and it has to be done, to give her the rig so that she can do her thing. We really need to be in two places at once, you know what I'm saying? So we're considering doing a GoFundMe for that. Just curious what your thoughts are. What's your initial feedback? Do you think that's too much? I mean, we're pushing the Patreon thing. We're trying to do all this stuff, but honestly, we spoke about it. I'm like, oh, $1,200. It's just, we can't spend that right now. We're not covering all of our bills yet. So tell me what your thoughts are. What do you think? All right, let me catch up on the chats here. Uh, Yep. Darn, takes YouTube 18 minutes to show notifications. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I tried to post it on Facebook and all that. I posted it, I think it's like 6, 7 o'clock this morning, so like 2, 3 hours ago. And uh, just, it just doesn't get out there. Am I watching SpaceX? I've have it up. I think it's at noon today, my time. It's like 3:57, I think, is when it's supposed to, yeah, 3:22 p.m. is when it's supposed to go. So I am keeping my eye on that. Uh, Loki J, thank you so much for your super chat. I noticed you didn't include a comment or anything, so your generosity is very much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. If you do have something, make sure you do comment. Want to address that. Rob, I do have merchandise. If on the channel, let me know if it doesn't show up, but right below each video, there is a merchandise thing that I've put together there. It has this year's slogan on it, that the future is built by faith. Uh, and it's got the TRM symbol and everything, different colors for both men and women and kids. Let me know if that merch, if you don't like it, give me your feedback on that. But we did put that there. We haven't done nothing's there, and our Amazon store doesn't make us a lot of money either. So you guys are getting all the inside scoop here of what it takes to run a YouTube channel, like which is part of what we want to do. What does it take to run a YouTube channel for real? There's the romantic vision that you could quit your job and just go to YouTube. That's not why we quit our job, by the way. We quit our job because our mission is to provide sustainable food and energy to local communities around the world, and we left our job so we could do that mission full time. YouTube is a way for us to share that journey, share the hope, um, share the emotions, share the lessons learned, add value to your lives because you can see things that I've done wrong, and it gives you a way to put. You'll hear me say this in a lot of videos, to put your comments in the video so that you can pass your knowledge on. So, the Real Martian is a platform for community. That's what I want. I want the Real Martian to be a platform for community, and it is where you have a platform to share your knowledge with the 30 some odd thousand people that are subscribed to this channel. It's not just about me, it's about community. There's a much bigger plan here that I did not come up with for the Real Martian channel. So I always encourage people, you'll hear me say it explicitly, I'm trying to hammer a point home, like if you're an expert and you think what I'm doing is wrong, put a constructive comment down below and say, give people your expertise. Those comments are so valuable. So uh, when patrons sign up, they're signing up to give us the ability to create that platform and create that community. And I think that's noble. I think that's a good thing to do. The bad part is, it's like when I listen to public radio and they do their fundraising thing, they're like, hey, this channel is built by members like you. I was, I get it. You got to do that, but it's like, okay, well, I'll come back, when they're done doing the pledge thing, and I do that. So when I do it, I understand you guys probably phasing out, but I do appreciate all your support. It doesn't matter if you're joining the Patreon or doing whatever or super chats. Those are things if people can do it. It's really great. If you can't, you can't. There's no hard feelings there. So. Rob, I was super uber excited from your first videos. Those videos, they were cool, and we're going to get back there. We are going to get back there. I know that the videos that we're doing right now, farming and ranching, we're actually losing subscribers. We were doing really good when YouTube promoted us. See, when we get caught up in the algorithm, if you guys, again, kind of back to that YouTube thing to understand the inside here, you've got to learn how to work the algorithm. And there's this thing called impressions, right? It's every time your video thumbnail is shown, just purely shown. That's called an impression. And our impressions are really down. Like when they promote us, it went, and man, people, our click-through rate, that's when someone's like, oh, that looks cool, let me click on it. They were up. And then subscribers were just going up because everybody saw the channel. They're like, this is cool. I want to be a part of this. But then when the YouTube algorithm stops promoting you, it's basically you just don't get shown. And the way that you guys can impact that is bashing the thumbs up button and putting comments and videos. And that's for every channel. Like if you didn't know, if you have creators that you really like, uh, be sure to hit thumbs up and and give comments. Now, I myself, it's one of those things you don't think of because you're usually on YouTube to entertain yourself or to learn, and kind of supporting the creators is, I mean, even I was like, hey, I want to learn how to, I was building a birdhouse, how do I do that? You got to hit that thumbs up button if you like the video so you can help the creator out. Anyway, and that gets you more impressions, right? As you watch things, you hit comment and hit like, comment, subscribe, notifications. That lets people know that this is something that, the algorithm should grab, and it's all AI grabbing it and throwing it out there. So um, anyway, our impressions are down, so we're losing subscribers right now, which is rough on us. But anyway, there's some cool videos back there, and we're going to be getting back to that out of the kind of the farm and ranching, the work we're doing right now, which I think is still good. Vineyard building, orchard building, those things are coming along. In fact, after this, I got to get out there and get it all put back in to. I'm working on irrigation today, so those are coming along nice, and I think those are good things to share with people that want to do homesteading. So anyway, we're gonna get back to those really cool things. Um, a cooking show would be cool. Mrs. Martian thinks so as well. And on her blog, theblossomingtable.com, I encourage you guys to go over there, tell your wives, tell your girlfriends, tell everyone to go over to theblossomingtable.com. That's Mrs. Martian's creative outlet. She does a great job. Inspirational messages, fantastic healthy meals, healthy living, really. She doesn't like having garbage in anything that she puts in her body. And she spends, let me tell you, inside scoop, don't tell, she spends a lot of time trying to find ways to get products that are good and healthy that don't have all the garbage in it. I mean, a lot of time. So the fact that if you go to her site and you just get the answers there, you are saving, let me tell you, days, days, days. Okay, so go check her out. She's awesome. Okay, if life could not get weirder, women told to call China to complain about U.S. product. That is weird. Uh, yeah, why not? What's the worst that can happen for the? Okay, I think those are for the GoFundMe, so I appreciate that feedback. Morning, Jeff. Do you have the live stream of the launch up on a side window? I know the actual liftoff isn't planned for another 3 to 4 hours, but this is a big day for U.S. manned spaceflight. I don't have it up because I only have so much bandwidth, but I have I pulled it up here on Well, not on that. I have like three screens going, and here's my SpaceX. You guys can't see it, but I'm waiting as I get closer. I might be out in the field when it happens, so I might have to watch it. But yeah, it's a huge day. I got to get work done because we have weather constraints and living things that are depending on me to be out there. So I kind of got to prioritize. I got to do that. But I would love to watch it live. I remember when I watched uh, the uh, the first successful recovery video live. That was so amazing. So I'm excited for them today and for the U.S. to be back in the manned space flight. Big deal, big deal. That is huge. I know so many YouTubers that quit full-time jobs and happy at doing YouTube as a new job and work 100% more hours and work for 50% less pay. QA, one of the things I will say, uh, if I could just not, how do you, I mean, it's just life, right? So I'm just sharing it. I'm just being real with you guys. I don't want to be rich. I've told Alicia this, and I've told everyone this. It's not about being rich. I just want to be financially free, right? Is to have the money to pay for the bills, and I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm content. Um, I came back in from working yesterday and I took my boot off and my big toe was shoved through my sock. Um, Sock was old, time for a new sock. And it's like financial freedom allows me not to worry about where the money comes from to buy a sock. But right now, we're not in that place anymore since we left our job and since we've been doing this for over a year. Now we're down to there's only so much money in the bank and every dollar counts. So things like buying new socks starts to be a thing. I never thought it'd be a thing, but it is because of the choice that I made. And I made that choice, and I'm not complaining about it, which leads me to the next thing is if I could just get that financial freedom back, I can absolutely assure you that the work that I'm doing now, I am working way more hours. I have not had a weekend in over a year. I try to take Sundays off as my Sabbath. I try. Last Sunday, I didn't do so good. Um, Today I'm working. I'm going to be working all day. I'm tired, but I'm also more filled with energy, more vitality than I have ever been really in my life. And the work that I'm doing, uh, it's a shot to my ego for sure because of the things that I've done. Go check out my LinkedIn profile. I was doing pretty good in my career, so there's ego there that I have to overcome, and I'm sharing that. I've been very open with that. But going out and planting and building and doing this work and then sharing it and being able to talk with you guys and then see I get emails, I get comments that people are like, what you're doing is helping me in my life. Let me tell you, that is fulfilling. If I could just get the financial freedom back and be doing this and helping people positively in their lives, that's what the Patreon support is about. If you're on Patreon supporting us, that's what you're doing. You're allowing us to create this platform and grow it and get comments like that. And anyone who supports this channel, every time you hit thumbs up, making sure you're subscribed because it always unsubscribes people if you haven't been here for a while, getting notifications, writing comments, joining us on Patreon, everything that you're doing there is creating that larger community and is giving I mean that. I'm not BSing you guys. It gives us a platform to inspire, to bring hope. I I don't want to say lead, but to be positive influence in people's lives, and you could call that leadership. But I'm not out there like telling people how to live their life. That's not what I'm saying. But to give hope, because there's not enough of that, and it's garbage out there. It's so much garbage out there. So, if we could get the financial freedom back, then absolutely the amount of hard work we do, it's way more than what I was doing before. I'd definitely say 200% times the amount of work than what I was doing before. I had paid vacations before. We don't have those. We're not going to have a vacation for forever. Heck, it's our anniversary coming up, our 8th anniversary, June 2nd. So in just 3 days. And it's like, would love to take time off, but we got to work. We got to do stuff. So, um, but it's fulfilling. It is fulfilling. It's hard. It's hard, and it is stressful because of the financials. I mean, it's just life. If you can't pay the bills, you're stressed. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go. If you want to be promoted by try doing an anti-Trump video, it should be suggested to everyone on YouTube. Yeah, boy, ain't that the truth right now. Um, okay, do a quick time check here. I'm all caught up. So thank you, you guys. Thank you so much for being on here today. Remember to like the video, hit the thumbs up button if you got this on just in your ears while you're drinking your cup of coffee and taking it easy this morning listening to us. Uh, there's something else I wanted to go over. Well, I just the status. So this week I spent an hour on the phone on Zoom with the manufacturer of the 3D printer. So you guys are going to see that coming up. Uh, and we got that printer. I think she's dialed in right now. I think we're going to call her Big Bertha. I don't know. You guys vote. You got 8 people here. Who? What do you think the printer should be called? Big Bertha seems to be the one I always come back to, but uh, Big Bertha is dialed in right now. Until we get a better name, I'm going to use that. Uh, and it's printing these new grow walls, and they're pretty awesome. Uh, and right now, actually, this morning I was working on. We have a since I'm working outside a lot, we're having an aphid problem, and we saw some ladybugs show up. So I'm actually working on a 3D printed universal insect and bird house right now that I'm going to put the 3D printer files up on Patreon. That's one of the benefits that we have. I'm also going to be putting the 3D printer files for the grow walls. For those that want to print them, that's another benefit for Patreon members. You got to be at the $20 level for that, but you'll be able to essentially buy those designs and print them yourselves if you like. And you can print them on smaller 3D printers. That was one of the questions. It'll take you longer, uh, but yeah, it'll be cool. So I was working on this 3D printed bird house and insect house so that we can attract or keep the ladybugs because we saw ladybugs show up and they'll eat the aphids and all that. And then we need more swallows around here because they eat more insects. And I also want to create a bat house. Excuse me. And I want to see if I can get these 3D printed ones to work. And it's PLA, so it's all safe, doesn't off gas or anything. So I want to see if it works. If it does work, those will all be available and you'll be able to quickly 3D print these things and get them up. And I want to get them up. Woodworking would be cool, but that takes a lot more time. You know, I can design it and I can go 3D print it while I do something else, right? It's all about time management right now. Is I need something, but I need to be somewhere else. Uh, so the same thing. It got really hot here this week. Like it was 90 degrees yesterday Fahrenheit, and man, body was not ready for that. I swear it was God saying, "Hey, it's coming. You know, get ready." Today the temperature dropped radically, but this week it was really hot, and we have that above ground pool, uh, and we something's wrong with the sand filter on it. So I want to 3D print it. I want to set up the scanner because I have an old Connect. And I want to set that up and put a rotating table, and so I can put a part there, scan it, and then rebuild the part with a 3D printer and fix it that way. It's just time. Oh my goodness. Same thing as like the dishwasher this week. The wheels on the dishwasher bottom rack, they broke and are kind of impeding the thing down at the bottom. I was like, oh, I really want to 3D print that. Uh, but you gotta have time. And right now, I gotta prioritize everything for the neighbor since he's helping pay. So I gotta get that done. But there's so many things I really want to be doing and sharing, and then share those files. Like, here you go. This is it. I did it. Put it together. Boom. Here we go. So the big thing, like SolidWorks right now, we're on an entrepreneur license, and it runs out in June. So I've been begging them, like, hey, COVID. I mean, my investors, I had a year, and they have a great entrepreneur program. So please pray that they come through and extend our licenses for another year, so I can keep using SolidWorks because that's important. And if if we don't get those licenses, then I'll have to go back to the veterans version, which is the educational version. And it means all the files and stuff that I made, I don't think I'm going to have access to because they're made on the pro version. So we'll see. Okay. Okay. Massive Martha. All right. Let's go. Sorry. All right. All right. I got to get caught up here. Thank you for the great videos. How far behind Hab2 are you with the videos? Hab2 isn't showing up in the videos. We talked about that at the very beginning. Hab2 is not going to happen this year. LifePod 2 is on hold. Again, kind of summarizing when we first got started. because we're focusing on the grow walls and grow towers to get those out to people right now during this pandemic. So I think everyone's going to start growing food. Y'all haven't started growing your own food. You're behind the curve. Feel that sense of urgency. You got to get basic food growing, lettuce, herbs, get those things going. They're easy, strawberries, super easy. Don't go complicated, right? Your first time, you'll get devastated. But the stuff like what we're making, I'm doing it because it's essential. I truly believe that. I think you're going to need it. So you're going to see all that QA for the remainder of this year. I would be willing to bet. We also have a root cellar that we need to do, and you'll see videos coming up on that because growing food's one thing, storing it's another. Call it Stinky Berry. Is that what you're talking about? Call the 3D printer Stinky? Love the chats. Yeah, appreciate it. Big Bertha sounds good to me. I agree. How do you like the heat pump you installed in the shop? I am thinking about getting one for my shed office, which is roughly the same size as your shop. All right. Total honesty, I think it's a little underpowered because of the lack of insulation. So if you have, James, if you have an insulated area, I think it's going to work perfect. But I was out there yesterday, and again, it was like 85 degrees outside, and the sun was beating down on that metal building, and we don't have the insulation. And we have Big Bertha in there with those giant heat pads pumping off 120 degree Fahrenheit heat in, and it was having a hard time maintaining 80. Um, and I think that's purely because of insulation. It can handle the size of the area, but if it's not insulated, it might have a hard time also heating. And the heating and cooling, the heating, uh, it did good enough when it was 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It kept it like 50 to 60, but it was on all the time. And it had to go through a defrost cycle as well. Uh, but it's the only portable heat pump out there that I could find, and I think it's still the best solution because it's the most energy efficient. If you have the ability to do a double barrel wood stove or anything like that, certainly that's going to be better as far as like instant joy. But I was out there comfortably this winter, and when it's not the 3D printer, if it was turned off, I think it would be able to cool, but you do want to keep that 3D printer at a constant temperature, so that's why we have it. So I'd say it's good, but insulation would make it really good. Do we have a wireless camera set up in your workshop to help you monitor Big Bertha? Yeah, we do, baby. You're going to see that come up. Actually, I think I put that on a video already that you guys saw. It's hard to remember, but I think it might become. Yeah, it was in the video where I spoke about it arrived and what a mistake, the metal. You can actually see it back there. I spoke about it. I got, I forget the name of it, Amcrest. Amcrest Wi-Fi camera is set up, and there's two more on the way because I need different angles. And as you start monitoring it, you really want to monitor it more because you can get different angles to see where the problem occurs. And one camera in one spot might be blocked by the gantry, so you need another camera to see where the air is at. But it's been very useful. I can monitor it on my phone, on this computer. I just have to be on the network. I do not share it over the internet. I don't like broadcasting everything on the internet, so we do have a local net here that we can jump on to do all that. But yeah, I do have a camera now. Bats. No bats. Oh yeah, no bats are great, Barry. Bats eat insects. They're great at night. We have the little itty bitty ones. They come at first you're freaked out by them, but no, they come and they eat the like mosquitoes and all that. And with our water around here, we don't have very many sources of water. So once you have a water source, mosquitoes show up. They'll find you and they'll get you. So bats are a good thing. You're learning a lot when you're running the homestead. All these things that you think are bad, they're really actually really good. Like for example, skunks. You're right. You think skunks are bad? They're stinky. They're horrible, nasty little things. Well, what do they eat? One of the things they eat that not too many other things eat is yellow jackets. They're one of the only predators for yellow jackets. And they've come and dug up yellow jacket nests at night um, and eaten the whole darn thing. Or hornets as well. They'll eat them both. So skunks, you think they're bad, but they're actually good. Like it's all part of the system, you know? It's all part of the system. Um, how is the PLA filament going to handle the hot sun and UV rays? Deform the model. So yeah, I thought about that. Testing, of course, but you can actually harden the PLA. You can put it into I think you crank your oven up and you put it in there for a little bit, and it's kind of like heating up metal and then quenching it. Same idea. It changes the crystal structure. So if you do that, my understanding is you could even put it through a dishwasher and put it on the heat, and so it won't deform anymore. So we will probably have to do something like that with it, but we'll just test it, you know. And the PLA, if it doesn't work, we'll fix it. I actually got some wood PLA that I want to buy, so I can print them out of wood PLA and see how that does. Um, be a little more natural looking. We'll see. Okay, keeping up on the comments. Thanks everyone for joining on today. If you haven't told us where you're from, be sure to do that and just share. Please get the comments rolling here. I got about another 14 minutes and I've got to jump onto another phone call. Keep doing business, all about getting stuff done. Stay safe out there while you're working today. Thunderstorms rolling through. Yeah, thunderstorms possible here as well. Certainly be watching for lightning. But I got to get out there and get to work. Got to get that irrigation in. We got the trees. Man, it's going to look so good. Guys, the orchard's going to look so good. It is looking so good. But hand watering about 107 trees takes about 3 hours. So we've got to get the irrigation in so we don't lose them this year, especially with the heat. But today, God's bringing the rain again. Ooh, big guy. All right, from NASA, 80% chance of thunderstorms during the window for blast off. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get delayed again, but I certainly don't want it to fail. I'd rather have them push this thing back as many times as they need to. We don't need a failure. That would be probably the death of the space program if that happened. You've lost some weight. Are you working out? Yeah. So this after I left my job, realized that the stress. One of the reasons I left wasn't just because of this; it was because stress on me. It was really at a very high point. My resting heart rate was above 107 beats per minute. My blood pressure was through the roof. Doctor was telling me, "Hey, dude, if you go any further, you're gonna need meds." And I was like, "No, no. Once you get on heart meds, man, that's a big problem." So I really wanted to get back in shape. I was very dissatisfied with me for myself. Um, Being in the Air Force, you come to expect, fit to fight, be ready to fight, and I wasn't. I was way out of shape. So the only way that I can lose weight is by lifting weights, by putting on muscle mass. If you ever have a hard time, like me, basically I always joke, I look at a peanut and I put on a pound. So it's just the way my metabolism, my body works. The only way I can lose weight isn't by running. Running does not help and it hurts and I hate it. But even when I just get past those things, it doesn't work. But lifting weights and watching what you eat, a calorie deficient diet, meaning I burn more calories than what I take in. And those two things combined, so I'm not really bulking, but I'm building strength, I'm building muscle, I'm burning calories, and then being active. Instead of being a desk jockey, I've been a lot more active, obviously. I Fitbit, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm not so excited about Fitbit anymore because of the apps that are being pushed out these days. I hear that they are now officially pushing out the Tracer app, I think, to iPhones with, and you can't turn it off. And I'm not very excited about that. And Fitbit is now owned by Google, the Don't Do Evil company. Uh, Still can't believe that. So I might be taking the Fitbit off. But it was been very helpful to show me that I needed to be more active. It's been very helpful. So I don't want to slam Fitbit for who they're owned by now, but it's been good. And eating out a lot less. This is all before the pandemic happened, um, and it was working. But then once I started really working outside again, what I found, I think it's just age is catching up with me. I turned, what am I, 43 this year? Still very young, but you can feel it a lot more. And I think I got that shoulder injury. If you remember, I had to wear that brace for a while because my shoulder subluxated. It separated and popped right back in. I think I just worked out too much. I was pushing my body too hard. And so I stopped working out in the morning and now I'm just kind of working until I feel recovered. Right now, when I wake up in the morning, my legs are really achy. I'm just really tired. I can tell that I'm pushing myself pretty hard. And I don't want to get injured. Getting injured right now is not a good idea for me. So I've been taking it easy on the workout. And I think it is start, even though I'm still eating less and I'm burning calories, I feel like my body is kicking back in where it's trying to store fat. And it's just how my body works. So if I'm not lifting weights, I'm having a hard time. But I haven't measured myself lately, but I think my waist has been down like 10 inches. Uh, no, not 10 inches. Yeah, about 10. Actually, yeah. No, it is about 10 inches. Yeah, like 9 inches of weight that I've lost around my belly. Got my garden planted last week. Yeah, nice job. It felt very good. Good for you, Barry. That's everyone needs to be doing that. Looking forward to your root cellar project. I have the backhoe attachment for my Kubota ready. Nice. Yep. We're gonna be needing one of those. The camera's in the video. Yep. I know I was making Corona joke. Yep. Will you try aquaponics again, Steve? Yes, I will. But we're gonna be using giant freshwater prawns, which arrived yesterday, and I'm gonna go out and see how they're doing this morning. You'll see that in a video coming up. It will be entertaining. Um, yeah, so that's in Texas. They built giant bat barns in the 50s to help deal with mosquito problems. Yeah, see, they're good. I bet they kind of got a lot more than what they asked for. It's all about balance. It's all about balance. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. How's the new shop working out? I love it. That place is awesome. It's never been so clean, and I enjoy being out there. Wrangler Star came over the other day, and he's like, "Man, this is so different. It feels so good." Being in that space. It's a nice space. It's working out really well with the desk. I mean, the computer, having Hal out there, I can do SolidWorks. Um, I even got my cell phone repeater put in, so you'll see that coming up in a video. So now I can do business out there. Huge, 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 huge. Uh, Love the new shop. Wood PLA is pretty awesome, but it will wear out and nozzle before you go through 2 kilograms, to replace nozzle after every roll. Okay, Rob, appreciate that. I got some new nozzles on the way just to have them as spares because I'm pretty rough on the ones I have right now because of learning curve, but having more. Jake from State Farm. Yo, good to have you on. Hi from the Netherlands. Hello. Theo, thanks for coming on. Farming has been too used to using chemicals. Yeah, I agree. They have been. How are the chickens? Oh my goodness. So, uh, I need to wrap up the video here too. So you guys get your last questions in here. The last call for questions. Last call for questions, and we'll be closing up the stream here. I got a phone call I got at 10. The chickens are down in quantity because we've had you're going to see it coming up in a video. We've had a predator of some sort that we've yet to be able to capture on game camera. Um, and we're down 4 chickens. We're down 4 chickens. Hopefully we've stopped the decline. I'll find out today. Uh, we're having to bring the horses up each night now to keep the predators away. And horses do a good job protecting the chickens. Again, it's kind of a balance, you know. If we leave the horses out on the pasture, they eat too much pasture. They're all fat right now anyway. So getting them to come up is the hardest part. They know that if they come up, they get some hay, and then the horses come up here. We shut the gate, so they're off pasture. It leaves the pasture alone a little bit, saves it, but we got to burn through some more hay, and then they protect the chickens because critters don't come around when the horses are at the barn. So that's been our strategy, and so far it's been working the last few days. But yeah, we lost some. Coming up. Okay. 9 inches. Yeah, good job. It does feel good. Let me tell you, when I first started, I was like, there's no way that I'm this high percent body fat. I was like almost 40% body fat. And I was like, no way, the scale's wrong. This measurement's wrong. Then I did like 3 different types of measuring, and yeah, it actually came out to be right. And then as you start losing it, you start seeing how much you were carrying around, and it was eye-opening. Um, I felt like I really let myself go. And when I did the rings, right? You guys remember the rings, um, the old rings of hope here, whatever we're gonna call them. Still don't have a good name, but um, one of the things that you really want to do here, here it is, be an asset, not a liability. We really, really need to be an asset, not a liability. Oh, you can't see that because it's not scrolled. There we go. If I'm so out of shape that I can't do things, which is kind of where I was at, then I'm no longer as strong as an asset to my family, which is on the inside here. Here, having the family ring here. If my health is suffering, then how can I help my family, right? So that was a really big eye opener for me, and you got to be in shape. You got to be in shape. You got to take care of yourself. You got to be fit to fight. I mean, especially as a man, this is probably going to sound sexist, but I don't care. It's the truth. As a man, I take it seriously. It's my job to protect, provide for the welfare of my wife and my family, the animals here. And if I'm so out of shape and I can't do that, then I am failing at my job. That is how I look at it. You don't have to look at it that way, but that's how I look at it. And I think it's our responsibility as men to be out there, be ready to go. And I wasn't. And now it's back to the forefront again. Actually, kind of getting back to these natural things is really, really got me thinking about that. And it's like, no, I need to be ready to go. I need to be fit to fight, and I wasn't. So if maybe you're on the fence and you need that motivation, I can tell you that I've struggled with losing weight for a long time, losing fat. I don't care about how much I weigh. I mean, if I'm 200 pounds of pure muscle, that would be awesome. But being 205 pounds and almost 40% body fat is not okay. So it's not healthy for your heart. It's not healthy for you as an individual. It's not. You're not ready to go. You're going to get winded easily. You're stressing out your bones. It's bad. It's just bad. You got to take care of the temple. Take care of your body. So weightlifting. I think weightlifting, strength training. I know there's lots of different things. I'm not a health expert, so don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But I tell you, my own body, my body type, the only thing that works is weight training. And we're talking serious weight training, like lifting, not like, oh, I just did 10 reps, yay. No, but like 3 sets of 10 or 10-8-6 program and doing 45 minutes of it, 15-minute warm up in the beginning on the treadmill, walking because I hate running, and then getting onto the weights. That's the only thing that worked for me. So if you've had a challenge, that was my thing, and then just watching what you eat. You got a intermittent fasting, by the way. If you can eat dinner at like 6 o'clock at night and then not eat again until 10 or 11 the next day, that does have an impact. Uh, you really don't need that breakfast. I thought I needed breakfast all the time, and I love breakfast, especially biscuits and gravy, but that does not help. Anyway, uh, congratulations on the 100-pound loss. Great job there. Uh, get down to 235. Yep, got to get down. Just bought 12 acres in Tennessee. Retire from the Navy in a year. Can't wait to start something where you would start. Where would I start? Okay, this will be the last question because I do have to go. So Stephen, I will probably not be able to watch the launch, but as far as where to start, you got to really look at what your plans are. I guess would be my advice. If you use the rings here, it's if you're in the Navy, you're probably familiar with Warden's rings. Uh, this would be how I guide my decisions on a brand new homestead. Uh, Security, water, shelter, food, health, family, and then mobility. Figure out all those things. Figure out your money and trade situation. Get the books and stuff you need. Watch the videos you need for the knowledge and skills that you need. But really start in this security, then water, then shelter, then food, then your health. Get that all figured out, and it will guide you in what you need to do. Don't take on too much up front. Think about your fencing. That's part of your security. Think about what type of animals, and never use high tension fence. Never use high tension fence. Use field fence. Put field fence everywhere. Never ever put high tension fence, and don't worry about barbed wire. Just do field fence. That's what you need. So, uh, but hey, shoot me an email, trm at therealmartian.com, if you got more and you want to ping some questions, or if you have a video that you'd like me to do to talk about that in our experience, I'd be happy to do that for you to help you get going. So thank you everybody for your time today. It's been great sharing with you. I pray that God blesses you and your family in the week to come here. May you stay safe. Don't forget to hit like on this video, hit the thumbs up button, hit lots of likes there. Subscribe, tell people about the channel, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it everywhere. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can join us on Patreon if you like. $1 a month.